Howdy folks, it's Bucket Fridge. I hope you're all doing very well today. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. In today's video, we're going to get into why I think they delayed the patch for Vykas until July and the news that just got posted on the forums about the update that's supposed to come on the 30th. So without further ado, let's hop into those reasons why I think it got delayed and what I think we're getting in July. So let's hop into the video. All right, let's go into the two posts that we just got today that can shed some more insight on what's going on. It says, first, we want to thank players for their patience surrounding the June update, which will release on June 30th. Detailed information will be coming about the delay. So we're figuring out that we're getting the June update on June 30th. And what I think will happen is on the 30th, they're going to talk about what's happening next with the next update in July. So the important thing to see here in the other update for the 23rd is you'll see that it says the end date for the Super Express event has been adjusted to prepare for that next Express event. We'll highlight that again. So as you'll notice at the end there, it says for the next Express event. And that I think is what we're getting in July with Vykas and why we didn't get the honing update. So you're probably thinking, well, what is the next Express event? So why don't we hop into that to see exactly what we're getting? And I think that can kind of shed some light as to why we're not getting the honing buff right away with Vykas. So I know there was quite a few people who were quite upset about not getting the honing buff with Vykas. And the general consensus from what I could understand from the videos that were made about it and kind of the general consensus of the community was that more people want to do Vulcan and potentially Vykas because the Legion raids are the most fun thing. And we know that because they've told us at Loa-Ons where they know that the Legion raids are the ones that really hook the players into the game. So it makes sense that they want to be able to have more players be able to do more raiding on more of their characters. And so it's pretty logical to think, well, why wouldn't we get the honing buff with Vykas? And we don't know that we won't for certain, but I think this is what's going to happen instead of getting the honing buff. And eventually we will get the honing buff when we have more 1460s. I imagine a very small percentage of the player base is 1460. I'd be willing to gander maybe 1-2% at the most. So even though that there is a small percentage of players who could use the buff, the majority of the player base could not. And I think what they're scared of have happen is that players who are already 1460 will then be able to get more characters up to 1415, 1430 and get farther ahead of the rest of the player base, creating a very large gap between the people who are more hardcore and can play more often and the people who cannot. So I think that's what they're worried about. And I think the Hyper Express is actually the perfect thing to kind of make both parties happy. So let's go into this and what they got in Korea in 2021. So one of the first things that you'll see is there are two dates here. There's two that start on the 7th on the same day, but have different ending dates. I believe one of them is the Hyper Express and one of them is the Story Express. And you'll see that I believe the Story Express is the longer one till the 13th. And I believe the Hyper Express is a shorter one, only lasting 2 months till the 15th of September. So let's get into what both of those are and why I think they're instituting those first before giving us the Vykas honing update from our Stronghold research. Alrighty, let's get into the Hyper Express first. You'll see the first thing that we're getting here is, I'm sure you'll remember this. This is a Express Pass getting us to 1302, so dropping us right in the bottom of tier 3 in Punica. This is a Punica Power Pass. So we get a Punica Power Pass. It looks like we might get a skin. I don't know whether we'll get that skin in North America and EU and SA. They got one in Korea, so maybe we might get one for that to kind of celebrate the event. And then it's, as you'll see, we get boosted to 1302, which is very nice. So you'll notice just like the other ones where you pick the character and you select the character, and then we'll go into the rewards. So what I'll do is I will put up a little graphic for everybody to kind of see and summarize all the rewards, and I'll just kind of briefly go over how it works. So essentially what happens is at every item level milestone, you'll notice 1302, 1325, 1340, 1355, 1370, etc., all the way up to 1415, that is Vulcan normal. So let's go into what this bad boy gives you. So if you're able to complete all of these and get to 1415, which I'm sure you will with this, and then I'm sure a little bit of stocking up for the next character you want to boost, what we'll do is we'll look at all the different rewards, and then like I said, I'll put up a little graphic that kind of summarizes the rewards And then I'll also include how much gold that would be worth on my server currently, which is Mari and which is NA West. Obviously prices will vary per server, but it'll give you a rough amount of the amount of mats and that we're getting and how much this is actually worth. So one of the first things you'll see is you'll get these little chests. They have the health potion packs, the utility packs, and the bomb packs with some silver and basic fusion materials. Then you'll notice you either get gold or honor shards, and then if you're not getting the chest, you're getting these silver tokens here. And I believe these ones reward 20,000 silver if I remember correctly. And then we look at the bags, which give you 200 redstones, 400 redstones because you get 2 of them, and 1,200 bluestones, as well as some honor leap stones. And then you get the class engravings and then regular engravings. And then as you can see in the next rank, you'll get the blue class engravings and the blue non-class engravings. And then once you get past 1355 and hit that milestone of 1370, you'll notice that the rewards change from leapstones to greater honor leapstones, which are worth more, obviously. So we're getting over 200, we're getting 280 greater honor leapstones, as well as more of the basic fusion material up from the simple one, as well as more honor shards and more gold. And you'll see that these increase from 5, 6, and to 10. So you are stacking up more and more rewards sequentially to kind of help the extra honing cost that you'll get from going up from these milestones. And what I think will happen too is if it's anything like the other express events that we've had, where these express events almost act as the honing buff and give you an easier time from 1370 to 1415, that hard gap to branch right now because we don't have the Vykas honing buff. So what I think will happen is in this item bracket here from 1370 to 1415, we'll get the honing buff there and allowing us to kind of get one character caught up even more quickly than just giving the Vykas honing update. And the reason you'll get there more quickly, other than just having the update, is because you'll be able to stock up mats, obviously, for your 1302 character that you decide to boost, but you'll also receive a tremendous amount of mats from this event, as you can see on the screen here. So as I mentioned, I'm going to read off some math that I did and list that on the screen for you to kind of tell you how much that you're going to end up getting. So you end up with 45,000 guardian stones, you end up with 15,000 redstones, and you end up with a total of 500 greater honor leap stones. You end up with 240 honor leap stones, 185,000 honor shards, and from the other ones that you'll see at the end there, let me move this down a little bit and show you guys the rewards that come from the chest from completing all of them are pretty substantial. Here, let me get a little bit better view for you guys. So you'll notice that just like the old event, all the mats that you get from completing this event are tremendous. You get 1,000,000 silver, 10,000 raw gold, 50 of the T3 relic accessories or legendary accessory packs like the ones we get from the Guardian event that we do weekly. Same idea there. Then we'll get one, it looks like one legendary selection pack, which is already pretty tremendous. Then it looks like we are getting 20 of the engravings and then 20 of the class engravings, another 3,000 red stones, 9,000 blue stones, an additional 200 greater honor leap stones, 40 of the 1,500 honor shard pouches, a relic rapport chest, 3 relic pirate coins. I assume they probably reward 10,000 or 50,000 or some substantial amount of pirate coins, 20 of the card pouches. I think probably be the normal ones from all the way from uncommon to legendary, and then we'll get probably the rare pack in the 10, which is the blue, purple, or legendary ones, 5 legendary rapport chests, 20 of the pirate coin chest, which will probably be the 500 one, not the 100 one, 20 of the creation fragments, which obviously give you experience for your cards that you'll be getting, and then 10,000 of each of the stronghold currencies that you get from completing different tasks in there. So as you can tell, there is a tremendous amount of mats. Not only do you get enough honing mats, but you also basically get to upgrade 1 free class engraving and 1 free non-class engraving to boost whatever character you're going to be using now that you got them to vault in. I think this is a pretty incredible amount of mats, and as you'll see on the graphic that I'm going to post, you'll see that on my server, all that is currently worth 105,000 gold from all these mats that you get, including all the different chests that you get in here, assuming that you're getting the 3 elemental health potions there. And then since there is a variety for the bombs, I just calculated the cheapest ones, but even then it was still 105,000 gold worth of mats and other resources that you'll get, as well as the 12,000 additional gold, which I didn't add on top of that. So really you're getting 117,000 gold worth of mats, 12 of that being just the raw gold that you get. And these numbers might be subject to change. They might increase them or change the rewards a smidge because we don't have the exact same client as they do in Korea. So I'm sure that there'll be a little bit of subject to change there, but otherwise it's still an incredible amount of mats, and probably, like I said, that we'll get the honing buff from 1370 to 1415 to help us get through that hard zone there. That's personally what I believe will happen going forward, and usually the opinion of some of the other people who have played the game, Stoops, Saint, Zeals, etc., think this will be coming in July as well. So this is exactly what the player base would want, right? Being able to get another character to 1415 and not having to stock up all the mats to wait for the honing buff, but one character will get giga juiced all the way to 1415, which will be very nice. So that being said, what I think will eventually happen is when this event ends, if it's anything like what it was in Korea when this event ends, after about 2 months, then I think we'll get the honing buff after this event ends, because I think the majority of the player base will be 1460 by that point, because there's nothing that says you can't use all these mats on a main of yours to push them to 1460 to potentially get the honing buff. So I think after that 2-month period, then we'll get the honing buff, maybe a little bit sooner. I'm sure that they're tracking and monitoring the amount of players at 1460, and probably that is part of the decision that they decided to not roll out the honing buff just yet. But with the Hyper Express event being covered, let's jump into the story event very quickly and see what happens. So what this will do is this will allow you to kind of zoom through the story, and it will give you kind of rewards along the way and kind of incentivize you to do the story. But I imagine that there will be some skips or some other things to kind of help speed you through that process. As you'll see, some of the lower level rewards as you're kind of leveling up will be just either silver, phoenix plumes, different kinds of health potions, HP pots, and a different variety of battle items. And then you'll see once we get to a little bit higher up that you'll notice we actually get the honing mats to help get you through tier 1, tier 2, and into tier 3. So what you can do, and what you'll notice here, is you also get the engravings and then additional mats down here. So what they're trying to do is incentivize you to go through the story on one of your characters and then also get the additional rewards from it, and that allows you to kind of either push your character to 1302 and then use the Hyper Express on them to get them from 1302 to 1415, or I might be incorrect here, but I imagine that you can probably select a different character for the Story Express and a different character for the Hyper Express if you so choose. So say there's 2 characters you really want to level up and get to tier 3. So one of them will have the advantage of having the Hyper Express, whatever you choose for that one, but you'll also be able to get one of your tier 1 characters or tier 2 characters to tier 3 relatively easily and get a bunch of mats for doing so for your troubles, which seems pretty good to me. And then let's go over the final rewards, which are also pretty crazy by themselves. You'll notice we get a 14-day crystalline aura, which is awesome. That's obviously half of a month, so that's 240 blue gems or so if you want to do the math. I don't know what that other symbol is there. I don't believe we have that in NA, so I won't comment. Then we get 1,000,000 silver, 3,000 more gold, 20 of the pirate chests, which reward 500, I believe, a relic report chest, and 5 legendary report chests, 20 more card packs, which I imagine will be from uncommon to legendary, and then 10 of the nicer packs, which are just legendary to rare, 20 of the XP for your cards, more pirate coins, 3 boss rush tokens or tickets, which is very nice. That's more honor leap stones for you and gems for your character. Don't forget those, as well as 20 more 1,500 bags of honor shards, as well as some more of the stronghold mats, 150 greater honor leap stones, 5 of the life essence for your stronghold, and some more guardian and destruction stones. So as you can tell, these 2 events give us a tremendous amount of materials and allow us to get a couple characters into tier 3. This one I imagine will be worth doing from a new character, so you just want to try out a character and level them up slowly. This will help you get through that, I imagine, and I imagine the other nice perks that you'll get from the story, there'll be some kind of boost to kind of zoom you through that so you don't have to go through the story and take quite a while. But even if you do, you are rewarded and compensated for your trouble. So as you can tell, these 2 events are a tremendous amount of help for us, and I think what we'll be getting in July and what they'll announce on July 30, or excuse me, on June 30th, and kind of detail all this and let everybody know what's going on. But at the end of the day, this is my opinion. It might be a little bit different than what actually happens, but I think that we're getting quite a bit of stuff, and they're trying to help us the best that they can while still making it accessible for as many players as possible. Again, I don't think that we're not going to get the Vykas buff. Just probably won't be exactly when players wanted it, which was in June. I think that we'll still get it whenever the Hyper Express mission ends, maybe even a little bit sooner, but I think for the most part we're getting a pretty good deal out of this. Potentially 2 tier 3 characters, one right to the bottom of tier 3 at the very end there, and another story express mission to help get another character there. So we're getting exactly what people want, is more characters that can do Vaultin, which will be really nice for everybody. But as far as everything else goes, that's it for the video today. Just wanted to get a quick video and kind of give my opinion and kind of maybe hamper some of the emotions going on right now. I know people can be quite emotional and things can be a little bit charged when you're talking about these things, but I think Amazon and Smilegate are doing the best that they can given the situation. But with all that being said, that's all that I have for the video for you guys today. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel again. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps the algorithm and helps the channel get more views. So if you want to support the channel, please do so. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you would like, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch 3 days, and I apologize for being away for about 2 weeks or so. I know that there are some folks who have been following the channel for a little bit of time now, but I appreciate all your love and support. And I apologize for being away for a couple of weeks, but I had some personal issues to deal with. But thank you everybody who stuck around, and I really appreciate all the love and support. But that's all, folks. I will catch you in the next one. Remember to be safe, be kind, and I'll see you all in the next one.